Hi guys and welcome back. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a tag that I've seen a lot of YouTubers do. I think Taylor Wynn was one, Jamie Paige, and Kelly Strack. Shoot, I can't remember her last name, but I will put all three of their names down below. I thought this would be a fun video to do just because I do think it would be a little different if I didn't do YouTube. My makeup collection, that is, would be a little different. I do have a lot of favorites. I did used to splurge even before YouTube. I would splurge on some products, but a lot of my collection is drugstore, but I did have some high-end products in there. But anyway, I wanted to do this video because I thought it would be a little different or something different to do on my channel, and I thought it would be fun to talk about. So if you would like to see the collection I would most likely have if I wasn't a YouTuber, then keep on watching. I'm gonna go in order of how I would apply my products to my face, starting with primer, foundation, then powder, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna make sure that I don't talk too much about every product because we'll be here for an hour. So I want to keep it short and sweet and say a couple things about the products and move on because I have so many products here. The two primers that I absolutely love that I know I would 100% have in my makeup collection are the Professional primer as well as the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. These two primers are amazing. This covers up my big pores that I have, and this one makes my makeup stay on for so long, guys. If you want a long-lasting makeup look, this primer would be amazing for you. For foundations, I have two that I always go back to. The first one is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. That's the one I'm wearing now. Along with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This foundation, I feel like, makes me look airbrushed. As you can see, I just look flawless with this foundation, and it lasts forever. The high-end foundation that I would definitely have in my collection is a Too Faced Born This Way. This foundation has never failed me. It looks beautiful on the skin. These two, for sure, probably would be the only foundations I would ever wear. Two of my favorite concealers are the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I have been using this well before I started YouTube. One of my go-to concealers for sure. And the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. So, actually I don't think it's called, oh yeah, it is Camo. I do like the matte concealer from e.l.f. as well, but I like this one a little bit better because I do feel like it does hydrate under my eyes and it doesn't make it so cakey or have my fine lines and wrinkles show as much. I do like it. I know I'm kind of dogging it out, but I do like the hydrating one a little bit better, and sometimes I'll even mix and match them. So I'll use the matte and the hydrating together, and that's a great combination. Your concealer will not budge. But what's great is, even though I've used high-end concealers through the years, I always go back to these drugstore concealer, so these would definitely be in my collection. Two loose powders that I am obsessed with. First off, I'm going to start off with the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder. I think this gives any high-end loose powder a run for its money. It is a great powder. If you have not tried this from the drugstore, I would definitely give it a shot. It is affordable and it looks beautiful on the skin. The high-end loose powder that I would definitely have is the Laura Mercier Translucent. The only issue I have with this is I can only use it when I have a tanner or self-tanner on. I can't talk. The only time I can use this is when I am self-tanned because it does have a little bit of a yellow undertone to it. So if I was to try and wear this with as pale as I am now, I'm trying to get all my tanner off to start over. But this would give me such a yellow cast that it just would not look good at all. So I can only use this particular powder when I'm self-tanned, but when I am tanned, this is my go-to loose powder. As for powder foundations, I've never found a good drugstore powder foundation. Maybe if you have some recommendations, let me know. But the first one is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Powder. You guys have heard me talk about this since I got it. This powder, there's nothing out there like it. And I even feel like it is good for those who have dry skin. So if you're looking for something that isn't quite as heavy, especially in the summer, and you want some coverage, I really highly recommend trying this powder. It is a little pricey. It is a high-end product. It's from Makeup Forever, but it is so worth the money. By the way, I don't think I mentioned the concealer I had on. I'm wearing the e.l.f. Hydro and the Maybelline loose powder, as well as the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin. That is so much to say at once. And then the other powder or powder foundation that I love to wear is the MAC Studio Fix. I ran out of my pale shade, so I only have NW25 and NW22 in this powder foundation, but I love dusting these powder foundations just kind of on the bottom of my face, basically anywhere I didn't put concealer. I love putting a powder foundation. I love that full coverage look, but it doesn't just give you full coverage look, it gives you a flawless complexion. So that's what I love about these two powder foundations. My go-to favorite bronzers in my collection on and off camera, you guys see me use all the time. The first one is the Benefit Hoola bronzer. You guys know I love using this when I have a self tan. I can't get away from this, and I feel like a majority of my videos are using the Benefit Hoola. It's just a great shade to bronze with, contour with. It's on the cooler side, I feel, so it kind of gives you that more natural contour if you use it for a contour shade. I use it for both, and sometimes I even go in with this one as well, which is the Milani Silky Matte, which is what I have on today as my bronzer. Sometimes I'll go in with the Benefit to contour. Like if I want a chisel look, I'll go in with this first to contour and then go over it with the Milani Silky Matte as my bronzer. But today I just use the Silky Matte, and I just think it gives such a good shade for when I don't have a self tan on. I don't know, I'm not too picky, or I don't try and chisel too much because I do have prominent cheekbones. A lot of times they're there. I don't have to contour that much, but when I want to go like chisel, I have used the Hoola to contour, but I kind of do my contour and bronzer moment at once. I feel like nothing I just said made sense. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. If you watch my tutorials, I usually don't do a contour and a bronzer. I do it all at once, but these are the two that I always go for. Blush was super easy to pick because I am not very particular with blushes. There isn't a time where I used a blush I'm like, this is such a different blush than any other blush I've used. I don't care too much for blush. I just take a blush, put it on, and call it a day. Blush is not anything I would go out of my way to spend money on. That's just personal preference. So I like to have a palette, a blush palette. That way I have multiple shades I can choose from. These are probably the only blushes I would ever have in my collection, to be honest with you, if I didn't do YouTube. And the first one would be the Morphe 9B blush palette. You guys have seen me use this for years, and it has so many different shades in here. I usually go for this top row, and that's basically the only blushes that I use from this palette. So this is one, and then the Tarte Color Wheel palette is the other one. I love this as well, just because you have your blush shades, but you also have this lighter shade up here that you could use for a highlight if you were to choose to do that. But really, these are the only two blushes or blush palettes I would have. I don't think I'd ever buy another blush because I don't really find it necessary. So that's just, honestly, these would be the only two blushes I would have in my collection. All right, moving on to one of my favorite products, which is highlighter. This was pretty easy to choose too, and if you've been watching me a while, you probably know what highlighters I'm going to be choosing here. For summer and when I have a tan, I always use the Anastasia and Amrezy highlighter. This is such a beautiful golden shade and looks so bomb outside in the sun. I dust this all over my body, my shoulders, my legs, on my chest, obviously on my cheekbones and my face, but I put this everywhere in the summer when I'm camping, when I'm at the beach, whatever. This is in my camper bag. I always take this in my camper bag. This is my spring, summer, and when I'm tan, highlighter. And then you guys know what I'm gonna choose right now is the Jaclyn Cosmetics highlighters. This one is the palette. This is the Flash palette. I have this as my highlighter today. When I don't have a self-tan, I kind of go back and forth between these two. When I have a tan, I kind of mix all up in all of them. So sometimes I just mix the gold one because the gold shade looks really good with my tan. So this is one of my favorite highlighters, as well as the Jaclyn Cosmetics Loose Highlighter in Extra. I actually have both on today. I dusted this palette kind of all over like I usually do, but to give it a little extra pop, I dust extra just up here a little bit and on my nose and my Cupid's bow. But the combination of these two, I just can't get enough of this. If you don't have these highlighters, you are really missing out. I know a lot of people hate on Jaclyn Hill, but you can't deny a good product. A good product is a good product, regardless if you like her or not. Banging products. So if you've been watching me a long time, you know I'm not a big winged liner type of gal. I suck at doing it. My eye shape's funky and I just kind of pass on doing winged liner because I always screw it up and it gets frustrating and I end up like a raccoon after I try and get done with it. But when I get a wild hair at my ass, I use the Maybelline Hyper Easy eyeliner. This eyeliner is easier for me to work with and it stays on for a long period of time. It is a great eyeliner. Again, I don't do eyeliner very often, but when I do, this is the eyeliner that I use. For brows, for high end, and I'm out of it, I would always use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. That was my go-to brow pencil for a very, very long time. But I wanted to save some money and try and find a drugstore dupe. I don't know if it's considered a dupe, but I like the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Auburn. The reason I like this a little more than the ABH Brow Pencil is because of the shade. The ABH Auburn is a little darker, whereas this one really matches the color of my hair. So I like using this. I feel like it lasts a long time. It's easy to work with. It's a very thin pencil, just like the ABH. And it's from a drugstore. So anytime I can get a drugstore product that I feel like works just as good, if not better, than a high-end product, I'm always going to go for the drugstore product. Same thing for clear brow gels. I do have the ABH clear brow gel, which is amazing. I have not found any clear brow gel that outperforms the ABH clear brow gel. However, I do have the CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow clear brow gel. That's what I've been using for months now. I like it. Like I said, it's not as good as the ABH, but for a drugstore clear brow gel, I really do like it. And one reason I really like it is because of the applicator. It is so teeny tiny small and I can really, you know, just get in there with the applicator. With the ABH clear brow gel, it's like a mascara wand. In a way, it's just big. You know what I mean? I don't have these big, huge, fluffy brows, as you can see. So as far as applicator goes, I like this one so much better. As far as product, I like the ABH, but I'm not picky about my brows. So I would stick to the CoverGirl if I didn't do YouTube for sure. We're cruising and moving because I'm not trying to have this be a 45-minute video. I feel like I'm on a lot of Red Bull or something right now. I don't know what my problem is. As for eyeshadow palettes, I do have a stack here because I feel like I would have these, I would have all of these if I didn't do YouTube. I really do. So first off, I'm going to start off with, I don't know. I'm going to start off with Juvia's Place. I can't get enough of these eyeshadow palettes. They are my go-to. Anytime I know I want a bright, vibrant, crazy, pigmented eye look, I go to Juvia's Place. So I have the Zulu from Juvia's Place. Bam, beautiful colors. Look at that. Just absolutely gorgeous. The other colorful palette I have from Juvia's Place is the Masquerade. Again, you guys have seen me use these palettes over and over and over on my channel. But you get some browns, neutrals, as well as color. Bam. If you need one palette, I think that would be the palette. And then I also have the Saharan by Juvia's Place. This is probably my least one used from Juvia's Place, but again, if you want some pop-in eyeshadows, Juvia's Place is the way to go. So I had to buy a more neutral palette from them as well, even though I already had neutrals, but I had to get these palettes because they're a bomb. As you can tell, I'm a Jaclyn Hill fan. I'm a fan of her products, you know. This one is the original Jaclyn Hill palette, which I think we all know that everybody went ape over her original palette. It's just kind of a staple, I feel like, in a lot of people's collections because it is such a good palette. Much more on the neutral side, but you still have your pop of colors, which is great. Very dirty, very used, very well loved, but I would definitely have this in my collection. I also definitely would have her volume 2. That's the one I have on my eyes right now today. I use the shades Lolly Mama, Positivity, My Man, and Heart On. There's those shades I have on my eyeballs today, and on that shade, oh, and No Joke in my waterline. So as soon as I saw this palette, I have not been excited about a palette in a long time, but when I saw this one, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta have that. So I know for a fact I would have this in my collection. And the other palette I know I would have is the NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette. I keep this up on my makeup stand because when I just want to do a quick eye look and use browns or neutrals, this is the palette I go to. It's affordable, it's from the drugstore, has great shades in it, it's pigmented, it's a great little palette to have. And it's really good for traveling too. The mascaras that I would have in my collection, as far as high-end, I love the Benefit Roller Lash. I've been wearing or using this mascara for as long as I can remember. This is a great, great mascara if you want length for your lashes. And then you guys already know the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. I have the waterproof and the regular. These formulas, I'm pretty sure I just talked about this mascara in my last video. These formulas are some of the best that I feel like is on the market. High-end, drugstore, no matter what. These mascaras are so used and will continue to be used. They're affordable and make my lashes, my stubby little stupid lashes, look amazing. The two setting sprays that I always use, the high end is the Urban Decay All Nighter. Makes my makeup last all night. That's the purpose, right? And then as for drugstore, the Milani Make It Last setting spray, that's what I'm wearing today. These would definitely be in my collection. Oh my gosh, we're on the lips. We're almost done, we're almost done. I have a lot of lip products. I'm gonna start off with the Maybelline. Basically everything I have is nudes because I am a nude ass bitch. So if I can wear a nude lip, I'm gonna wear a nude lip. I have the 915 Blushing Beige, the 920 Nude Lust, and the Purely Matte 535. These are basically the shades. Like I said, nude, nude, and nude. I also love the Milani Amore Matte Lip Cream in Adorable. This is a matte liquid lipstick. I have that on along with my favorite lip glosses. So they're all from NYX. They're all butter glosses from NYX. One of them is Peanut Brittle. The other one is Creme Brulee. And this one is Banana Split. This one right here, Creme Brulee, is always in my camper bag. I have one up there on my makeup stand and one in my camper bag. This is my favorite lip gloss of all time. This one I use more in the fall winter just because it is a little bit darker, but I love this lip gloss. And then I also have Banana Split on to give me that coral orange look on my lips today. But the NYX Intense Butter Glosses, if you want an intense glossy lip, these would be the ones to get. Holy moly, I feel like I talked 1,000 miles a minute. I think I started filming about a half hour ago. And to go through all those products, I still think it's gonna be a long video. But this was really fun to do. I'm glad that I saw those other YouTubers doing this tag because this was so fun to film. I have it all spread out on my table, and to me, I mean, it's a great little collection to have. If I wasn't a YouTuber and to have these products, I could totally get by with just this amount of makeup for sure. But it's just, for me, it's fun to collect makeup, try new makeup. I was doing that before I even started YouTube, which is why I started YouTube, for my love of makeup. To get a couple of these products to put in, let's just say like a beginner makeup bag, you would be set for sure. You would be looking really bomb. And I really like my makeup today. I'm loving it, and I'm really feeling myself with this look and this hair. I feel very rock starry, hippie, chic. No? Maybe? Maybe. But that is it for this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next one. Thanks for watching.